Welcome to the another episode of the Agency Insider Show, where we deep dive into the strategies, insights, and experience of the digital marketing world's most innovative mind. I'm your host, Navneet Kaushal, founder of Pace Traffic, and today I'm absolutely thrilled to have with us a true titan in the SEO industry, James Dooley. He has been voted as one of the most influential SEO at the UK Entrepreneurship Awards, scaled over 35 million digital assets, and built multiple successful businesses in the SEO, lead generation, and digital real estate. James, welcome to the show today, and how are you?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, before we dive deep into the depth of SEO wisdoms, I always like to start with a question that helps our audience connect with our guest on a more personal level. What's something about your journey in digital marketing that most people don't know about you?
People always want to talk about how successful I've been, but they probably don't want to talk enough about how many failures that I've had along the way. People think that it's an easy ride, and it's not. Growth is never linear. It's always a roller coaster of ups and downs. So the best, most successful people are ones who can ride the waves the most or pick themselves back up when they get knocked down. So generally speaking, in my opinion, from speaking to a lot of different entrepreneurs in the world, the most successful ones are the ones who can bounce back, and you need to get that bounce back ability from failures. And it's actually good to embrace failure because it means you're pushing those boundaries.
Okay. Let's talk about our first segment is more about the business of SEO and scaling an agency. Of course, you have a good experience in that. Just one second. Oh, sorry, I'll edit it later. Just one second, I think. Yeah, so I'll repeat. You have been in the SEO industry for over a year, built multiple businesses, and helped thousands of clients. But let's rewind a bit. How did you get started in SEO, and what made you stick for it so long?
So initially, I just knew that I needed an influx of quality inquiries on a daily basis to improve my construction company that I was working for. So at that point there, I needed a website to be built, and then I didn't understand anything to do with search engine optimization. So I needed to learn the hard way, which was initially using different agencies. And I'm sure people are watching this now who's probably used some freelance agencies, and they kind of overpromise and underdeliver. So what generally starts to happen is you start to then learn certain techniques of what they're doing. You find different suppliers. And I've just had to learn via failing quick and understanding every single algorithm update that comes along, whether it's Penguin or Panda, what you need to do to kind of counteract it and stuff like that. So yeah, I just knew that for my own business, I needed basically inquiries. And then when I moved into, like, say, affiliate, I needed to make sure I was getting clicks to make sure I can send it through to the affiliate. If you do an e-com and you wanted to sell any products, again, you just need to know SEO or PPC to know how to get to the top of the search engine. So right. I knew that I needed to learn. It's almost like any trade. You then got to go in the trenches, do a lot of testing, see what's working, and what might be working today might not be working tomorrow.
Okay. Now, you have worked in the rank and rent SEO, lead gen, and performance-based services. So what's your favorite model for agency owners today?
So it's a difficult question to ask, in the fact that it depends how good you are with regards to doing SEO. If you're very good at SEO and you know you've got kind of the formula for what's needed on a rinse and repeat basis, the rank and rent model can be very good. But it's called rank and rent for a reason. Rank, you've got to be able to rank, and you've got to be able to rank number one for all your key terms for it really to start making some good money. If you can't do that first part correctly and you've just got a site you're trying to rent out, but it's not ranking, it won't work for you. So for anyone who's starting, who isn't confident enough in knowing exactly how to rank, maybe working within an SEO agency and learning on the job with other clients is the best way to go. Otherwise, you're going to lose a lot of money by trying to go straight into the rank and rent method. Affiliate marketing can be great because you can end up getting paid while you sleep. You're not having to deal with any clients. You're just sending through clicks to products and getting paid on that. Drop shipping and e-commerce can be very, very good as well. But you've just got to find the right suppliers, understand what the trends are, what people want. So it doesn't really matter what the monetization model is. Whichever one you choose, you've got to be good at SEO and fundamentally understand how the algorithms work.
Okay, but I'm sure the affiliate model is taken a little backseat with all the Google updates now.
Yeah, but it's different. Yeah, 100%. But the point is, if you go and search, where a lot of people think that affiliate's dead, or I mean, I hear every year SEO is dead, but where a lot of people say that affiliate marketing is dead, if you go and search for best TVs for students, best TVs for this, or best hedge trimmers for gardeners and stuff like that, there's still affiliate websites that are there. It's just the way a lot of people got trained to do niche affiliate sites and buying links from guest post farms that are toxic and not got a lot of trust, kind of divulge and go too far on topic dilution and stuff like that. Can you still rank affiliate sites? Absolutely you can. It's just become a lot tougher. And I think a lot of people in the Facebook groups and on Twitter have all gone saying, oh, affiliate's dead. And it's like, well, if affiliate was dead, no one would be ranking for those affiliate terms, and they are. So you've just got to kind of pivot and diverse and see what's working. You might need some more brand building, some more kind of not just being 100% relying on Google clicks, try and get social media clicks. And the more you start to get all that, you're triggering nav boost and engagement signals, which helps your affiliate site rank higher.
Okay. Now, many agencies struggling with scaling. What were the biggest challenges you faced when growing your agency, and how did you overcome them?
So I'd say there's a few different struggles. First and foremost is getting the right team members. So it's hiring. So once you've got someone that's good, make certain you're doing enough to keep hold of them. So not having a churn rate of staff that's coming and going. So you've got to build a culture, build the team, because SEO is a team sport. I mean, there's not many solopreneurs out there that can rank multiple websites. You need content writers, you need link builders or people doing outreach. You need technical SEOs, maybe a journalist that's doing digital PR, progressive optimization of content as well. So not just writing content and leaving it. There's lots to SEO that needs to be done. If you are doing client work, you need like a sales team to be able to speak to the customers. So hiring of staff and then keeping that culture to maintain them, that they're not leaving, but then also rewarding them and training and developing them to not just giving them tasks, but giving them responsibility. And once you give them the responsibility, it's up to then your members of staff to improve the systems and processes and SOPs, because the algorithms do change very, very quickly. And what might have worked last week might be some different strategies this week.
Right. Now, what do you see are the common mistakes agency owners make while trying to scale?
So they don't have the right SOPs in place. So what they'll do is they'll hire staff and they'll think that the staff will just be able to fix their problems. But the truth of the matter is you should have some sort of research and development or testing team. And that can be expensive to do that. So if you can't afford to do the testing yourself, you need to be attending like networking events, whether that's like masterminds or conferences, and speaking to these other people that are also might have the same problems that you have, and then be able to like discuss what's working for you, what's not working for you. They'll say what's working for them. And you can find those little knowledge bombs that you can then integrate into your systems and processes, that when you employ the members of staff, you've got those systems to be able to scale out. So it needs to become a rinse and repeat strategy that you consistently evolve in the SOPs. But when you've got the staff that are just implementing what needs to be done, if you don't know how to rank, that's the main thing that they're doing wrong. They're just following what think works, but then no test data. They're just going buying a load of guest post farms, toxic links, non-trusted links. But because the DR's DR60, they think it's a powerful link, and it's not.
Okay, now Now, you have built one thing that stands about you is your expertise in lead generation. Now, a lot of agency owners struggle with getting high quality leads. What's your top strategy for doing lead generation today?
So the main strategy is keyword research or industry research in general. So it's about trying to find those long tail keywords that might only get 10, 20, 30, 50 monthly searches, but you know the conversion rate on those could be 30 or 40% if you got those clicks. So many people chase search volume that's like 5,000, 10,000 searches. But the truth of the matter is there might be no buying intent behind those keywords. So it's trying to speak to the customers, seeing where they make the most money, and then trying to find the long tail keywords that can get that conversion rate. Don't go chasing impressions and clicks. Go chasing how many leads that you can generate, but what leads can turn into profit, because then obviously your clients will spend more. The more money they start to make, the more they'll spend on scaling out new websites, new niches and stuff like that.
Right. Now, you have built a performance-based lead gen model. Can you explain how it works and why agencies should consider it?
Yeah, so performance-based lead generation is the industry, in my opinion, is full of cowboys. And I mean it in the nicest possible way, but they don't think about the client first. So I'm a customer focused. I want my customers to get a guaranteed return on investment. So what we've done is we've ended up completely changing the model to being a performance-based lead generation strategy, where if the customer is accepted and it's up to us to accept the client, if we accept them, they will only pay on jobs that they convert. So they don't pay anything for SEO, they don't pay anything for PPC or Facebook ads or Twitter ads or YouTube ads. They don't pay anything for us optimizing the website, for doing link building. They don't even pay anything for the leads that we're generating. They only pay on conversion, which guarantees them a return on investment. It builds that relationship up really, really quickly. They're very open then to let them know where they're making the most money. And then from there, then it can be a reciprocal relationship where both of us, it's more of a partnership than it is them seeing them being the employer and us being the employee, and them demanding to us what we need to be doing. This forms in line more of a partnership, and we say, look, we know what we can do. You've got to tell us where you make your profit. Let's get this partnership going. And if we can both win out of it long term, we have, like, our churn rate is under 1%. Now, you speak to any SEO agency or lead generation agency, and I reckon within 12 months, their churn rate will probably be 40 to 60%, something like that, where we're under 1%, because why would they leave us? There's no reason to leave us. And the hardest thing you can do in business is get those new clients. So if you can keep them, then it allows us to grow. We might only need one new client a month, and we could see exponential growth by one new a month, because we know they're not going to leave us. I mean, we generate several a day, but I'm saying we could, where a lot of others need to be winning 2-3 new clients a week because they're losing clients as well. And sometimes what's more important is looking at how can you keep the clients as opposed to always chasing new.
So I mean, do you pick up any client, or is there a methodology? Because you can't deliver lead or conversions to every client who walks in.
So like anyone that inquires with us, we might get 70 or 80 new business owners a day that come through to us that wants lead generation. And then from there, then we've got a very stringent vetting process. So have they got a professional email? So if they've gone and got bigbadjames@gmail.com, I'm like, that's not a professional email. If they're a landscaping company, I want something like james@commerciallandscaping.co.uk, because it looks professional. We'll be checking even things like their quote template. Does their quote template look professional? Would I order from that company? So if I wouldn't order from that company, there's a good chance that all the leads, the customers that we generate for leads for, that they wouldn't order. So we've got to understand what's their brand look like online. If you went to search for James's Commercial Landscaping, if I've got loads of 1-star reviews, that's going to affect the conversion of our leads. So we want to make certain that everything from what they're doing at present is good. Sometimes they might have no reviews, and it just might be they're not very good at SEO or brand building. But we might think, do you know what? These are a great company, and we might work with them. and then we might help them grow their brand as well, because it's going to improve their conversion rate. But generally speaking, we decline more than we accept, because we want to make certain that the customers we work with can convert the leads that we're generating.
Right. Now, white label SEO is a huge opportunity for agencies. What's your advice on pitching white label SEO services to other agencies?
Yeah, I mean, if you can do it at a rate where that agency can use you as being a white label, then obviously, yes, it's a great model to do, because these SEO agencies might have hundreds of clients, but they just need someone to do the fulfillment. But again, it kind of comes back down to, are you good at doing the fulfillment? And if you are good at doing the fulfillment, then white label SEO is brilliant. The only issue, like if you was in a Western country like the UK or the US, it's very difficult to do white label because staff is expensive. But if you was in India or Bangladesh or the Philippines or Venezuela or South Africa, then white label SEO is great, because what you can do is charge maybe 15 cents to create a citation, and the white label, like the Western company that's selling it, might be able to sell it for $1 each, and there's a good margin there. So both parties can win. It's just seeing whether white label SEO agencies have got small profit margins, but it's more volume of work.
Right. It's a volume business, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, how do you convince agencies that outsourcing SEO is actually a smart business move? Is it just giving them an example like $1 to a 15 cent, or are there other ways as well?
So the way I always say it, one of my classic kind of sales pitches that I normally mention in a lot of podcasts would be, if you built an extension on your house, would you build that extension yourself, or would you get a bricklayer to come and build you the wall? Would you get a roofer to come and do the roofing? The point is, a lot of these business owners, they try and do everything, and they're not a roofer. Like, if you need a roof being done, go and hire a roofer, because they do it day in, day out. They are brilliant at what they do. I'm not going to try and do the roofing myself. If I need a new shower being fitted, I'm going to go and get a plumber. If I need some new electrics and cables being installed, I'm going to get an electrician. So the truth of the matter is, it should be a very simple sell, that a dental practice is brilliant at fixing people's teeth, but it doesn't mean they understand technical SEO, content. Within content, you've got like entities, semantic triples, you've got causal clauses, you've got so many things within semantic SEO that they don't know all of that. So don't try and be someone that you're not. Get more inquiries for fixing people's teeth or teeth whitening or whatever it is that you do, but go and hire an SEO agency to be able to do what they're good at, which is optimizing your website for search engines. So it should be a no-brainer. It should be a very simple sell to a business owner to say, look, why would you want to do it yourself? You're going to spend time, you're going to spend money, and you're probably not going to do it correctly.
Right. Now, if you had to start an SEO agency from scratch today, how would you go about landing your first 10 clients?
So I wouldn't do this, but the classic case of I'd go knocking on a lot of people's doors, right? So what I mean by that is, I would want to turn around. I would sit down, and if my sales team can't do this, there's no point in having them, right? It should be very easy, especially nowadays with AI, to go and outreach to 300 people on LinkedIn, to go and do 100 tweets, to go into Facebook groups like the SEO group or many other groups, and just basically tell someone, does anyone want a free technical audit? Does anyone want a free backlink audit? Right? And what you can do is you can go and offer for a free technical audit. It'll take you 5 minutes on Screaming Frog to go and get some 404 and 301 errors, send it through to that business owner. They're happy that you've just done it completely for free. And then they might say, can you help fix these problems? And then next minute, you just won on a client. And then from there, you can upsell. Oh, by the way, your content's not very good. Oh, very well, your internal linking's not great. Oh, by the way, let's do a server log analysis and what part of the site's not being crawled. You're lacking in backlinks to this part of the site. So it's hard to go and win your first few clients, but you've just got the classic saying is, you can't win a raffle if you don't buy a raffle ticket. You've got to go and buy as many raffle tickets as you can. The more raffle tickets you have, the more chance you have of winning the raffle. So go, if you're going out reaching to 50 people a day, why not do 100? Why not do 150? Why not do 200? The more people you reach out to, the more doors you open. If you win a client, they might refer you to another client, and word of mouth then might start growing. But people are just not willing to put the hard work in, and they think it's easy, and it's not. You just got to go out and do the hard work.
Now, and now for agencies looking to, this was for agencies who are just starting out. Now, for agencies who are looking to scale their client acquisition, say from now 10 clients to 50, what advice would you give, or will it be a same advice?
No, so I mean, once you've started to get the clients in, after that, a lot of it then starts to come down to case studies and testimonials. You've got to shout and scream about what you do and how great that you are, because you know what? Nobody else will, right? So you've got to show how brilliant that you are. Any awards that you've won, you want to shout and scream about. Any case studies where you've done a good job, you want to shout and scream about. If you've got, even better, if you've got a case study that's working well and you can get the client to leave you a testimonial, then great. And then bit by bit, the more great work what you do, the more awards you'll win, the more events you can attend because you're earning more money. As you're earning more money, you can jump on podcasts like this, which might open it up to a wider audience. You just got to be omni-channel, omnipresent, shout and scream about your results of what you're doing. Have a great offer. So have a hook that's a great offer to get somebody in, and then be able to do those upsells.
Okay. Local businesses versus national businesses. What would you prefer for an agency to go after first?
I'd say go after everything. If you're good at SEO, you can rank in local. Local's easier to rank for, but lower search volume. But if you are good at ranking, then why not go after the national clients as well? If you're not good, then start in local. Just go after the easy to rank for keywords like, let's say you was in the plumbing market, let's say plumbing in Manchester, right? Or plumbing in a local area. But then in time, you might go after just like UK plumbers and go after all the areas in the UK. Go after the longer tail keywords if you're not great to start with, because they're easier to rank for. It's like CC Carter talks about, like the avalanche approach or working through your traffic tiers. So start with easy to rank for keywords and then build yourself up and keep building it up and stuff like that. But there's no reason if you're good why you can't get both local or national.
Okay. And one big question agency owners face is whether to build an in-house team or outsource via, let's say, for example, white label SEO. How should an agency owner decide between the two?
So it depends on how good they are at recruiting, building that culture, and maintaining the staff. There's an argument for both. So I don't think there's a one size fits all saying freelancers are better than in-house or in-house are better than freelancers. I know a lot of people that have just got freelancers and got only like a few members of staff and they're doing $1 million a month in profit. But I also know people that have got large teams and they can do all the quality control and everything else. They're not relying on any freelancers who can let them down. And they're also doing $1 million a month. So you can, either way, you can have it that both can win. It's just what suits your lifestyle better and your business model better. For me, we use both. So like, I want my A players to be in-house. I want to train them up with everything that they need to know. And then I want each A player to have 10 virtual assistants, like freelancers that's working underneath them. So if I've got like 14 in-house staff and each of them have got 10 VAs, that's 140 staff. Right. That's more than enough to rank for nearly any industry there is in the world, as long as you're good at what you do. And then from there, then on top of that, you can be using freelance, digital PR agencies, link building agencies, technical SEO agencies. Right. You can do stuff like, you mentioned Alex Drew before, so you can use age domains to kickstart your websites to be a lot faster. There's so many different things of what you can do to give yourself a head start, or just know what a good link and a bad link looks like, know what good quality content looks like, and just make certain that you're ticking all the boxes and doing it correctly so you're getting long-term rankings.
Right. Now, your rank and rent model has become somewhat legendary in SEO circles. For those unfamiliar, could you explain this model and how you developed it?
Yes, for sure. So a rank and rent website is a website that ranks for keywords that specifically a customer or contractor might want the inquiries that's generating from that website. They're brilliant. A roofer's brilliant at roofing, so they're not very good at doing SEO for their own website. In my opinion, the reason why we went down the rank and rent model was because I don't like client SEO. And the reason why I don't like client SEO is because if I'm working on their website and they like the design of it, but I don't think the design's good for conversion rate optimization, I've now got to argue with the business owner about why I'm going to change the site, how I'm going to change the site, come up with a big design, where realistically, I don't want to be a designer. What I want to do is I want to split test what buttons work the best, what color buttons work the best, what text around the buttons work the best. And I don't want to keep having to get that signed off by the client. So with regards to backlinks, the client might be heard some black hat techniques that he wants to use, or he might be very white hat and saying you can't do link building. I just want to get a website, do it my way, because I know my way works, not having to explain what I'm doing, and just be able then to give the contractor the leads what they want, where they can make and earn some good money from, and we split the profits. So I'm not having to explain everything what I'm doing, of why I'm doing it and how I'm doing it and what frequency I'm doing it at. I don't need to explain that. A business owner cares about one thing, and that's return on investment. And that's what I'm going to talk to him about. The rest of it, he doesn't need to know about.
Okay. And what challenges did you face when scaling it to over, I think, 600 website, right?
Yeah, so obviously there's lots and lots of challenges of doing it. So it's hard to get real businesses, real addresses for a lot of the sites. And having an address and a telephone number and stuff like that, big trust signals, especially in local SEO. So we form partnerships with these companies that are real, genuine businesses that we then might be able to use their addresses, their telephone numbers and stuff like that. So they've always been challenges. Making these websites look real and legit, making certain that we're initially being able to speak to the client saying, can we use some of your testimonials and case studies? Because if I go and set like an exact match domain up for commerciallandscaping.co.uk, but all of the testimonials are for James's commercial landscaping, I might not be able to use them on this website because it might be like for another brand, for another website. So there's lots of pitfalls, there's lots of like issues along the way of what you need to try to do, but it's building up the brand, building up the trust, building up the power that people can trust that site to want to inquire, to say, yes, this is what I want, and they're going to inquire with that company. When you've not got a legitimate business or brand behind it, the conversion rate drops. Even if you're ranking high, if they don't think that you look trustworthy, they're not going to inquire with your brand. So it's trying to get all the trust signals in place that a potential customer and people who's clicking onto your site will convert.
Right. Now, I've noticed that you transitioned from being primarily an SEO practitioner to become a mentor, speaker, and an investor. Now, what drove this evolution in your career, and how has your perspective on the industry changed?
Yeah, so I mean, what starts to happen when you start speaking to quite a lot of successful entrepreneurs, they start to want to give back to the community that's helped them throughout their journey. A lot of them become philanthropists where they want to give back, do charity work or do certain things. I'm at a point now in my life where I don't need to work another day in my life, and I can have whatever's the most expensive meal on the menu for breakfast, dinner and lunch, and so can my kids for the rest of their life. But that doesn't motivate me. What motivates me is success, growth, innovation. Every day is a school day, wanting to take things on to the next level. So not only is it about how well that I do, I want to make certain that my business partners are all looked after and that they can learn. And I want to make certain that my staff and my employees, that they might set up their own brands in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, and they might flop the nest and do their own things. And I want them to do brilliantly. And now I want to give back to people that have helped me, but I also want to give back to suppliers that have helped me. If they've got any customers that need help, I'm here to try and help as many other people as I can for them to do well. Sometimes, like, there's certain people in life that when it's Christmas Day, they might prefer to receive a gift and open it up and be like, oh, what's in there? But I prefer giving gifts. I prefer giving it and seeing, let's say, my son and my daughter open up the gift and then being really happy. I prefer giving than receiving. So that's just might just be, I'm not certain if everyone's like that, but that's the way I'm like. And I get more of a kick out of giving. And I think at times, yes, I can build out a load more sites. Yes, I can earn a lot more money. But at times, I want to help others that they don't go through as many failures as what I did along the way. For the first 7 or 8 years, it was tough, very, very tough. I was in debt. I was struggling to get like things to work well. Like I didn't come from a background of money. I didn't have money from my mum and dad passed me down a load of money, and I was just able to make it work. Like I was doing it on my credit card. I was having to get it to work, and if it didn't work, I was reaching out to 200, 300 people every single day to try and find those long tails to try to earn some money, which allowed me to reinvest. So it's tough. It's hard. I want people to understand that. But a lot of people that want to grow need to understand they've got to roll up the sleeves and they've got to put that work in. And yes, it might mean that they've got to sacrifice a few things for a few years. They might want to have this big holiday, and they might say, instead of going on the big holiday, reinvest back into more websites. Instead of like having a nice fancy car, put it back into growing and building the business up more. And too many people want nice luxury things, and then they start moaning when someone is super successful, going, oh, I wish I was like them. Well, you talk the talk, but you're not willing to sacrifice what you need to sacrifice to get there. And the classic, like the rich dad, poor dad scenario, start getting yourself some assets, stop acquiring liabilities, stop acquiring nice fancy cars, having nice big like expensive clothes and stuff like that. Put it back in the business, grow it, and in 3, 4, 5 years' time, there's a classic Bill Gates saying, people massively overestimate what can be done in 1 year, but underestimate what can be done in 10 years. And in 10 years, if you had a 10-year plan, you can retire in. Anybody who puts in the hard work can retire in 10 years. If they are willing to put some certain sacrifices in, you still want to be a good parent. You still want to see your friends and your family and do nice things, but you need to sacrifice certain things to get there. And once you do it, like you'll see exponential growth.
That is very true. I mean, I myself been in this business for almost 23 years, so I know I also don't come from a rich family, so we all are first generation entrepreneur, I would say that way, and we all have worked our asses off. So it's
but people like yourself, like one of my biggest concerns at present is that I don't want to bring up my kids to be spoiled. Like I came from a rough upbringing where it's made me resilient, it's made me disciplined, it's made me turn up every single day. And do you know what? They're the best attributes that any human being can have, because then they start to make their own money and start to do their own things. I don't want to pass my kids down any fish. I want to teach them how to fish. And if they can learn it their own way, which is via resilience and hard work, that's the best thing. And like you said there, first generation wealth, it's so important not being passed down money. And that's one of my biggest concerns at present, is making certain that my kids are going to put that hard work in themselves.
Right. I myself don't want my kids to be spoiled. I don't want them to know it's a comfortable life, because we know that's not how the world is going to be out there. You have to put your hours in, and trust me, I'm all on with it. What you are saying, I get it.
Yeah.
Right now, you mentioned in some previous interviews that maintaining trust and integrity is crucial in the SEO business. Now, could you share a situation where your integrity was tested, and how did you handle it?
Yeah, for sure. So my vision statement in life is everything should be done with honest, trust, and integrity. So I know that any one of my clients, and I'm confident that any one of my clients cannot turn around saying that I've scammed them in any way, shape, or form. I know that. So when I know that, I'm happy to be challenged on anything, right? So there's been times where I've had other SEOs or other lead generation companies saying, you cannot guarantee your company a return on investment. Yes, I can. And they go, no, you can't. That's impossible. I'm like, no, because they only pay when they win the job, when they do the job, and they've been paid for the job. They could win a job and not get paid from the client, and I don't get paid even though they won the job. So this is a very different business model. So when people start to say, I can't guarantee return on investment, I can. The issue is there's a lot of people in the industry that tries to guarantee a return on investment for doing SEO. That cannot be guaranteed because algorithm updates can come along and who knows what profit that they're making. But my model, I can guarantee a return on investment. So I've been challenged a lot on that. You can't guarantee ROI. I'm like, I can, because I'm taking 100% of the risks. And because of that, I can guarantee my clients a return on investment. So there's always been times where people have tried to challenge me, which I absolutely love, by the way. I love being challenged. And I think everyone should not like get the back up and feel that someone's having a go at you. I want to be challenged every single day. I want to be a better version of myself today than what I was yesterday. So I'm all for it. It's just, yeah, I mean, honest, trust and integrity. If you can go to bed at night knowing that you can sleep, that you've not scammed someone, life is so much of a better place. And just try to provide value for your clients.
You are right. I'm a firm believer of integrity. I mean, there are times when I find my integrity being questioned, and I have actually gone ahead and fired the clients because I don't want my integrity to be questioned. At the end of the day, if I sleep, it should be like I can sleep that what you said. I have not scammed anybody in my life and I can have my heads up.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes. Now, let's move to the second segment of our show, which is the current state of SEO. You know how things are, and we're going to talk about a little bit about this. Now, SEO has evolved massively and there's always something new. From your experience, what are the biggest shift happening in SEO right now that agency owners need to be aware of?
I'd say the biggest shift is user signals. Everyone obsesses over content and links, where what people need to start doing, instead of fighting against Google and being annoyed with how Google's doing their updates, they need to start looking at how can they make it as cheap as possible for Google to crawl and index your website. So technically, making certain that it's fast. Technically, making certain that you've not got lots of pages that gets no impressions. So people are obsessed with topical authority. And the truth of the matter is, 95% of people don't even understand what topical authority is. And what I mean by that is that they think that topical coverage is topical authority. And that's not the case. So by covering all different articles on a subject doesn't mean you've got topical authority. It means you've got topical coverage. But topical authority is topical coverage plus user signals. Now, if all these pages you're creating get no social signals, no backlinks, and have no impressions or clicks, that's actually detrimental to your website. You're going too wide. You've got to then try to start making certain that every article on your site is getting some form of historical data being built up. And if you're not, you're just wasting Google's crawl budget. So you've got to improve the content, improve the internal linking, improve the amount of external links coming through to the website, and then the user signals. Like, can you build up a Twitter following, an Instagram following, a Facebook following? Can you be sharing your new article that you've done on all those platforms? Can you be sharing the images on places like Flickr and Pinterest to get traffic back to your website? Can you be putting a video on YouTube and ranking that video, which might link back through to your website? So you've got to be trying to be omnichannel, omnipresent, have diversification of traffic and building a brand. And that's what a lot of affiliate sites didn't do. They just became obsessed with writing best TVs, best hedge trimmers, best lawnmowers, best gaming chairs with no brand presence. They had no branded searches. They had no social media presence. And do you know what? And a lot of people won't like me saying it. A lot of them deserve to get hit because all what they did was use AI content. And all what they did was go and put a top 10 list of the best gaming chairs. And guess what was number one? The one that paid the most commission. They had no research behind it. They just looked at it going, I'm going to put the number one result here. These pay 30% in affiliate commission, so I'm going to put them number one. And it might not have been the best gaming chair. And then number two was the second highest affiliate commission. And do you know what? It wasn't good for the users. And that's why people started to go to Reddit, because Reddit had different people's opinions and they could have arguments and stuff like that. And people prefer to have different people's opinions than one person that just wrote it using AI that didn't put really any thought process into it apart from what paid them the most money and wasn't what's best for the user. So you've got to think outside the box. You've got to be doing a lot more than what a lot of these other affiliates are doing. And maybe these affiliates just need to become more of an expert on a single topic. So making certain that they are like the lawnmower experts. Instead of doing all of gardening, just do just lawnmowers and just give like, maybe you start, even if you can't afford it, go and rent that lawnmower and use it and get a video of them using it, showing them how you kind of, your gauges of different depths, show them how you change the different gauges, show them how powerful the blade is and stuff like that. Give that extra value if you can. And if you're not willing to do it, somebody else is willing to do it. And therefore they deserve to outrank you. So you've just got to think bigger and actually start building brands and getting diversification of traffic. And I know that a lot of people won't like hearing that because they want to cut corners. They want to just build a website very quickly and build a load of guest posts to it. And that used to work. It now no longer works. So you've got to, if you want to stay in the game, you've got to shift and you've got to start improving the quality threshold of what everybody else is doing.
Right. Also, now many SEO experts are debating the diminishing returns of traditional SEO tactics. Do you believe fundamental SEO principles are changing, or are we just seeing more sophistication in how they are applied?
Just the quality it's the same algorithm as what's out there. All that they've done is just ramped up quality control. So content needs to be better. If someone doesn't understand properly what a semantic triple is, right, they don't deserve to rank. Because that's now how the knowledge graph is being used. Apart from in local, where it is still word-based, it is still placing words in certain places on the page. But generally speaking, you want to feed that knowledge graph. And the way you feed the knowledge graph of Google is via semantic triples. So it's getting the subject, the predicate, and the object, the subject, verb, and object in the correct sentence format, not having much fluff in there, getting the right entities being put on the page, but in the correct sentence format. It's about when you're showing up for queries, is your page matching the intent of the query and answering what they want? And if it is, then great. If it's not, then make certain that it is. Otherwise, you shouldn't be showing up for those queries, and you're going to start getting bounce or like what's called short clicks within NavBoost. And you need to try to be getting the longer clicks. The longer clicks, the more pages visited, the better dwell time, the less pogo sticking that's happening on your website, the more you're going to start ranking. NavBoost now has become probably the number one ranking factor. You want to be making certain that you're looking at everything related to your user signals, CTR, dwell time, pages visited. Like so many affiliate sites, they're clicking onto it within 10 seconds, they're clicking off. And they're not like the dwell time's not very good. And they're not ending Google's now realizing they're going here and going to there. Can I not just send them here directly? And a lot of the time they're now trying to send them directly there and missing out the affiliate part. Whether you like it or not, it's probably better for the user. So, like, are they making the algorithms better? A lot of the times, yes, I actually believe that they are. A lot of SEOs don't think that way because they genuinely just want to earn more money by doing SEO techniques. Yes, attribution of clicks is a lot less, but they do the research. They know what needs to be done. If you don't like it, go and start ranking on Bingo, on YouTube, or on Reddit. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're playing on their playing field. You've got to do what they want, and you've got to abide by their rules and do what's winning in today's algorithm. And yes, it is very different to what used to work in the fact that you need to understand trust on links, have low toxicity on links and good quality content, and then understand that topical coverage isn't topical authority, and then trying to build up branding elsewhere if you can, building it up to get traffic diversity coming into your website.
Now, you talk about dwell time and, of course, click rate. So what is your take on CTR manipulation?
CTR manipulation works very well. So that's the short answer. The long answer is a lot of people do it and they try and cut corners and they use rotating proxies, which are spammed and blacklisted. And that doesn't work very well. So you've got to understand a lot of things to do with Selenium, WebRTC, headless browsers. So what tools are not being detected as being fake by Google? And you've got to make certain that you're getting good quality logged in users that's doing the clicks. Not just every single click coming through to the site is a non-logged in user that's using a blacklisted IP and then saying that CTR doesn't work. That's like saying link building doesn't work. Link building works better than ever if you're getting trusted, low toxic and powerful, relevant links that might drive traffic. They work unbelievably well. But if you're going doing GSA directly to a money site, then it doesn't work very well. So it's about understanding that good quality links work well, toxic links don't work very well, but then you can't then say links don't work. They do work if done right. CTR works very well if done correctly. Try and manipulate it and doing GSA direct to site, it doesn't work. Like trying to do clicks doesn't work. So yes, CTR works very well. There's lots of different platforms out. CTR works very well for like Google business profiles and GMBs and doing driving directions and all that. That all works great. You want as much engagement from as many different places as you can.
Right. Now, you work with businesses of various sizes. What difference do you observe in SEO strategy effectiveness between an enterprise level business versus small to medium businesses?
So enterprise, larger businesses, generally speaking, are a lot better to work with. And the main reason why they're a lot better to work with is they understand that short-term fixes are not going to fix your rankings. So many people come along as an SEO agency and they think that they can get like results within 3 months. Nowadays, a lot of the work that you do might not be being seen and might not be rewarded until the next big algorithm update. It's not a lot of the time, it's not real time, right? It's generally speaking on algorithm updates. So you might have to work really, really hard for 6 months, see no progression, but it could be a hockey stick approach where no progression, 6 months time, all the hard work you did for those previous 6 months, hockey stick, exponential growth as the algorithm update comes along. And longer term, like big clients understand this is a long-term investment. A lot of the smaller kind of agencies or a lot of smaller companies, they want to see results tomorrow. And it's so difficult to, unless you're doing black hat techniques, which can give you instant results, but not long-term results, they need to understand that SEO is a long-term investment that you need to be doing. It's not PPC where you can generate leads today. It's a long-term investment. And that's what bigger companies understand. And they understand when they're putting the marketing budget in place, they might base that on 18 months. They might give you an 18-month contract, where a lot of the smaller ones might want a rolling contract or a 3-month contract. And the truth of the matter is, in 3 months, you can't fix a lot of problems that might be wrong with the site.
All right. Now, you also spoke about indexing, and you mentioned, of course, a lot of time your site doesn't even get indexed unless there is a big Google update. How crucial is indexing for agencies today, and what are the best practices do you recommend to make it faster?
So I'll give you a few knowledge bombs on indexing because we've done a lot of testing in the last 12 months, right? So number one is, obviously, if you've got a website, make certain you've got Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools being set up. Making certain that you've got your sitemap submitted so that every time a new post gets done, it's submitted to Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools. That's just basic SEO, right? Making certain that the amount of people that don't have Bing Webmaster Tools and that should have it, and the reason why it's so important is because if you can keep indexing with Index Now within Bing Webmaster Tools, all your pages and get them indexed, Bing's feeding a lot of GPT answers. So you want to be trying to get not just ranking in Bing, but in GPT search, which is growing quite a lot. The next part is so many people build links like citations or press releases, which can do well, right? They're like pillow links, foundational links, whatever you want to call them. And they don't index them. And the point is, a lot of these citations, you might go and buy 150 citations, not load them into an indexer. So last year, we invested in 3 different indexing tools: Giga Indexer, Indexceptional, and backlink indexing tools, right? And those free platforms, we've made certain, we've got the testing team on it, we've made certain that those three have got the highest indexation rate. So the previous best company that used to do it was a company called Index Me Now, right? They had the highest Index Me Now. There's like Speed Links, there's Amiga Indexer, CoLink Create, there's lots of others, but the index rate is a lot lower than what Index Me Now was. So we knew we needed to be better than Index Me Now. And now Giga Indexer, Indexceptional, and Backlink indexing tools got higher indexation rate than Index Me Now. And we've like linked it to make it simple within ChatGPT if people want to load in all the URLs. But the best knowledge bombs that we've actually found, right, is obviously index all your backlinks and stuff like that. But if you get a new client, right, on board as an SEO agency, something that we found, and we don't know the full, I'm going to guess on this bit, so don't hold me to this. I think it's got something to do with link rot, right, or link decay, right? So a link over time starts to become less powerful the older it starts to become, right? And people call it link rot or link decay. If you get your new client, let's say you're doing 10 new guest posts for that new client, go and export all of their backlink profile, existing backlink profile, that you think are good links. So there's no point doing the toxic like scraper links, but all the good links, and they might have 2,000 referring domains. Go and load those 2,000 referring domains into Indexceptional, right? And what even if they might be already indexed, right? Go and load them into Indexceptional. Indexceptional goes and pings Googlebot 3 times, 3 different occasions over 5 days. Googlebot comes and crawls those links 3 times over the 5 days, right? And the power of what you get from that existing backlink profile, it's like it kind of reignites the backlink profile. And literally, what you can do if you are an agency, if you own the website, do it. But if you're an SEO agency, in month number 1, it can make you look amazing. Like, oh my God, look at these results. And that's just from the power of their existing backlink profile. But also what you've just done, it's almost like doing tier 2s to all the backlinks. You're getting Google coming recrawling it. And as it comes recrawling it, it kind of reassigns that quality score from the backlinks that if it's not been crawled for 12 months, it just kind of removes that link decay, that link rot. And that's a big thing that people should be doing every so often, every 6 months, going into the backlink profile, loading them into the indexer, even if it's indexed. And that's the big bit, because people go, why would you load it into an indexer if it's already indexed? It's to get Googlebot to come back, rescoring them those links and giving you the credit again for those links.
It's like a Botox injection. You put it and suddenly. Yeah. I love that. I would definitely give it a try, and we'll let you know the results. In fact,
sign up to it and drop me a message, and I'll go and give you like 5,000 credits for free. Go and sign up to it, and you on the next podcast, you show your results. If you don't get results, they say, I spoke to James and I didn't get the results. I can pretty much I can't guarantee it, but like, we've seen it time and time again where we've done it and we've just gone boom, 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 boom. And it's a great strategy. And I never once thought, it was one of my people in the testing team that did it. And I was questioning, why would you index a URL that's already indexed? Why would you put it into an indexer? And he's like, well, people talk about link decay. I want to see whether it kind of like gets rid of the link decay. And it seems to, and it might be something else. Someone might be watching it and saying it's nothing to do with link decay, it's nothing to do with link rot. It's because of something else within the Google patents or something. I don't know. But what I do know is reloading your backlinks into the indexer gives a boost, especially if it's not been crawled for 6 to 12 months.
Wow. Okay, now AI generated content. Google updates have made ranking AI content harder. Do you think AI content is dead, or is there a way to make it work?
You can definitely get it working. I've got thousands of examples of AI content ranking. If you just go into ChatGPT and say, write me an article about an SEO agency in Manchester, then it's not going to rank. It's not good enough in just giving it a single prompt. You need to understand what you need to prompt it. You need to understand it's garbage in, garbage out. So you want to be making certain that the prompts that you're doing, you're getting all the right entities being put onto the page, that you're getting all the right questions and answers to rank for your secondary keywords, that your content structure, your heading hierarchy has got the most relevant and the highest popularity at the top, and it comes down into the macro to the micro content, and it's sorted by relevance and popularity. That you're answering the questions to your headings directly underneath standalone content using semantic triples. If you get all that put into the prompts, and the point is, when I first started using AI, I was having to write 5,000 words of prompts to give me a 2,000 word article. And I'm like, what's the point with AI? But then what you start to realize is once you've got that prompt, you can just reuse that prompt saying, use this, here's the title, here's the source context of what I want from the page, and here's the desired outcome. That's another thing that a lot of people don't do with AI. They don't give the desired outcome. Why are you creating this page? It might be you're creating a page for SEO Agency Manchester, and you're not saying to it that James Dooley SEO is based in Manchester. Throughout the content, try to get them to inquire with James Dooley SEO. That's your desired outcome. If you're not telling the AI that, it doesn't know and doesn't start mentioning your brand. It doesn't know and doesn't try to start doing sales content to get them to fill in the call to action button and stuff like that. So the source context, the desired outcome, as well as the title of the page and the prompts of how you want it being set out, if you do that, then AI content is incredible. It's better than me writing it. I'm not ashamed to turn around and say that AI is more intelligent than me at writing content when I give it the right prompts. And for anyone to turn around saying I'm a better writer than AI, probably just not giving it the right prompts.
Okay. Now let's move to our final segment, which is the link building. Now, many agencies rely on link building as their main SEO strategy. Where do you see link building heading in 2025 and beyond?
I'd say less is more. So make certain that you start, first and foremost, make certain you get all the foundational links, their citations, press releases, to get referring domain count up, to get loads of no follow anchor text, and no follow links, naked URL anchor text. So you've got those foundations put in place that when you do start doing guest posts and doing exact match anchors, it's very, very low on the percentages because you've got lots of naked URL or branded anchors. But then after that, I would prefer to have free, I call them now power posts. So within Searcheroo, which is an agency that I invested into, I'd sooner have free power posts than 10 guest posts. And you go, well, okay, what's a power post? And also what a power post is a guest post on steroids. So it's a guest post that's written very well using the same prompts that I've just been talking about. So it's semantic content that ranks well, that's actually trying to rank for the keywords that you want your money site to rank for. Some people might want to call it parasite SEO, right? Because you're trying to rank your guest posts. And you power those guest posts up with tier 2s to that guest post, and you're getting some sort of virality to that guest post. So you're ticking the box that it's got social, it's got traffic, it's got tier 2s, and it's well written on a third-party website. I'd sooner have 3 of those articles, which we call power posts, than 10 guest posts that's got no tier 2s, no virality, no social signals. It's 1,000 words of content that's very generic and might not even index. So it's quality over quantity nowadays. Try and raise the bar, and you might need to spend more for the power post than you do a guest post, but I think they've got 10 times more power and they're not 10 times the price. So people might need to start understanding there's still a lot of money in link building, or there's still a lot of gains to be buying links, but go with the higher quality ones, improve the content, maybe add internal links if you can. Some webmasters say they can. Some say it's £10 per internal link. Sometimes if you can do it on a powerful existing page and internal link it through to your new guest post, that can give you some great power. Then you might not need tier 2s. If you're not getting any internal link juice power, get a few tier 2s through to it to ignite and pass through all the page rank of what you want through to your designated website.
So when you mention these 3 power posts, I understand, but when you mention those 10 guest posts, does those 10 guest posts need to link to these 3 power posts or to the money side?
No. So I was saying I would prefer to have 3 power posts instead of 10 guest posts.
Okay.
So you don't need the 10 guest posts. But if you're doing, basically, all what I'm trying to say is if you go in with 10 guest posts, try and raise the bar of the content that goes on them guest posts. Try to make certain that they're getting some sort of virality, like sharing it on social media, maybe even running Twitter ads through to that guest post to get some virality that comes through to it. So if you went and ran Twitter ads from India, that's a lot cheaper than from the UK, but that virality and real logged in users kind of ignite that page and give it reason for Google to crawl all the page and pass the page rank distribution through to your website. I have an internal kind of thing where I believe a lot of guest posts have got 0 power until you give it reason to have power. And the 0 power, to give it the power, needs to be social signals, traffic, being loaded into an indexer, tier 2s, internal links, good quality content. Try and do all them things. And it doesn't cost you that much more. And by doing all them things, the quality is that little bit better, you get so much more than from your guest posting.
Okay, that's actually a good advice. Now, there's a growing sentiment that traditional backlink metrics like domain authority might be less relevant now. So what metrics do you focus on when evaluating the quality of potential backlinks?
So the holy grail of a backlink is to have a powerful, trusted, low toxicity, relevant, with traffic backlink. That is the holy grail of a backlink. But as you know, and you're probably going to laugh, if anyone went off those metrics, they'd never build a backlink in their life, because every backlink that you do has got some level of toxicity. Every backlink that you do is never going to be a do follow DR90 link. It's never going to be a trust flow of 50 link. Like, it's just non-existent, right? So you need to understand the parameters, and you need to understand what type of links your competitors are buying. And all you need to do is do enough to win. So there's a classic saying that I first heard from Kyle Roof, that you don't need to be faster than the bear. You just need to be faster than the people running away from the bear. Because, so also what I mean by that is you don't need perfection. You just need to be better than your competition. You only need to rank number 1. And that doesn't need a perfect SEO strategy. It just needs a strategy that's good enough to beat your competition. So knowing that that's the holy grail, but not every link can do that.
Right.
There's times where can you get a powerful, relevant link? I'll get that tick. Can you get a high trust relevant link? I'd get that tick. Can you get a non-relevant, but it's loads of trust and loads of power? I want that tick. So not all the times can you get the one link to tick all the boxes, but if you can be getting links and they're passing something through, then great. Now, what you don't want to be doing is getting a non-powerful and high toxic link. Do you know what I mean? So it's you've just got to look at the boundaries and work out, is this link worth it? Is this link going to move the needle? And if you're not certain and it's going to cost you £100, don't get it. But if you're like, if there's one for £200, but you think, yeah, I think this definitely will, then get it. And at times, instead of buying lots of £50 and £100 links, you might just need 5 more expensive ones that you know are going to move the needle than lots of the cheaper ones that are guest post farms. The DR's been manipulated to a DR65, that they've got no traffic, that they're linked to porn websites, casino websites, CBD websites. You just know that there's spam.
Yes.
But people go, but it's a DR65 and it's £30. And so what? Like, I disavow that link. I don't want the link. Like, if you give it me for free, I do not want that link. I'm not bothered that it's a DR65. And that's the difference between understanding what a good link is and what isn't a good link.
One thing more I would add is when we build a lot of links for our clients in agency. What kind of a backlinks that guest post site is actually ranking for. Sometimes it is ranking for all those shitty, meaningless keywords. Even they have all the ticks. It has high traffic, high DA, high DR, everything. But end of the day, if it is ranking for a non-relevant keyword, we don't go for that. Even whatever cheap or expensive, I've seen that doesn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, so many of them now are starting like manipulating the DR and manipulate the traffic metrics by ranking for like error codes or telephone numbers,
yes,
or product codes and stuff like that. And it's so obviously a spam site, and they're linking out to everyone. So it just comes part of a bad link neighborhood. Like you're being seen alongside loads of these porn sites or toxic websites.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're completely right there. You don't want to be getting those type of links.
Now, for businesses with limited resources, what would you recommend link building approach that offers the best return on investment for them?
So, do you know what I'd probably start to do? It depends on what niche that they're in. If they're in a competitive niche, you need money. So don't enter a competitive market if you've not got money. It's as simple as that. I don't want to sugarcoat it in any other way, saying, oh, you can rank in competitive. Like, you need authority alongside like building good quality content. But if you want to go after like a low to medium keyword competition, a lot of sites you can end up ranking by having good quality content and then just getting like your branded links. So getting like your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube, and then doing like web twos like your Tumblr, your Weebly, your Rebel Mouse, your Blogspot, and you go and get all your social fortress around your website, load them into the indexers. So like load them into Indexceptional or something like that. Go and maybe do some, at that point, you can do some cheaper type of links at tier 2, like GSA still actually works. So you can go and get some GSA at tier 2 to those profiles. Money Robot still works. SEO Neo, SEO Autopilot, all these cheap forms of backlinks can still work, but I just wouldn't direct them directly to my money site. So you could go and get some cheaper links pointing to your branded social fortress, which then is passing relevance through. And then on like medium.com, go and get some decent quality articles written on medium.com and power them up. And they will start ranking for long tail keywords. Like you could start ranking for link building agency in and then an area, if that's what you're wanting to go after, or SEO agency or PPC agency or Facebook advertising agency in different areas, even just with medium.com posts, LinkedIn posts, these places still actually rank. And then obviously as it starts to rank, like we were saying at the start of the video, don't go buying an expensive car or expensive clothes, reinvest that money, get some good quality links. And as you start to get the good quality links direct to your site, you start ranking for more, you start earning more, build a second website, build a third website, and so on and so on. But start reinvesting that money and have that 3-year plan of being like consistent and disciplined to saying, I've got a 3-year plan that I'm going to build it out. Because I hear all the time, if you've not got money, if I've not got money, if I've not got money. Well, the majority of times, if you've not got money, go and get yourself a full-time job, go and work overtime, go and work weekends, go and earn that money, and then start building out your site so you do have money. Because it's like saying, oh, I want to be a plumber, but I don't want to buy a van and I don't want to buy my tools. Well, you need a van and you need the tools. Do you know what I mean? So you need some money to start off in SEO, like you need some money to be a plumber because you need the right tools to do the job. Right. If you want to cut down a tree, you need a chainsaw. If you've not got a chainsaw, what are you going to cut down a tree with? Do you know what I mean? It's going to take you a long time. You need the right tools for the job. And the right tools for the job of SEO is you need some links. So you need to somehow earn some money, whether that's consultancy, agency, getting work, stacking shelves of a weekend, whatever that needs to be, do it to get the money for you then to reinvest in building out the websites.
Okay. Yeah, we are just approaching, we are actually overcrossed the time, so I'm just going to run a few questions very fast. Now, for the future trend and advices, what emerging technologies or trend do you believe will have the biggest impact on SEO and digital marketing in the next couple of years?
AI.
Okay. Now, what advice would you give to agency owners who are trying to differentiate themselves in an increasingly competitive market?
Be fucking awesome. Just do everything, like lift up your threshold of quality, be good, just be great for the customer. Stop trying to cut corners. Try to over deliver and under promise. And then long term, what you're going to do is if you under promise and over deliver, clients are going to sing and shout about how awesome that you are. They're going to get the testimonials. You're going to get the case studies. If you're not certain how to rank, keep learning. Every day's a school day. I'm still learning today on so many parts of the algorithm. So if I'm still learning today and I've been in it for nearly 20 years and I own thousands of websites, then I'm sure a lot of people watching this will be like, well, hold on a minute. If he's got one of the largest testing teams in the world and he's breaking the algorithms every single day and he's still saying he's learning, maybe I'm not great at SEO as well. And maybe I should always be learning, because you need to be innovative ideas. Like we're touching on the last question, then AI is evolving every day. And what you can do now, like the new GPT's just come out, the new Sonic's just come out, like everything's becoming more sophisticated and better. And you need to stay on top of those trends. And like where I was talking about reaching out to 200 people a day, N8N, I don't know if you've ever heard of that, or make.com, both of them two platforms, you can create AI agents. You can start to write statuses in your tonality, so it looks like everything's you. You've got 11 labs to do audio, kind of cloning your audio. You've got Hey Jen that can do videos and stuff like that. In a year's time, you could be interviewing me and it could be the AI avatar of me sat here.
And I might not be there as well.
Exactly, yeah. You could be interviewing me and it's both our AI avatars and me and you are drinking a pina colada on the beach.
Right, very much possible.
Yeah.
How do you personally stay ahead of the curve and continue learning in such a fast-paced industry?
It all comes down to mindset. It all comes down to understanding that every day is a school day. You want to be a better version today as you was yesterday. You want to be speaking to the right people that are doing amazing things, not being shy to reach out. If you see someone has done something great, reach out to them. Try and offer some value to them. Like, can I help you by doing this, this, and this? Or if someone posted a case study and you found a problem on the site of what they posted a case study on, reach out to that SEO agent and say, oh, just making you aware, I've looked at this site and there's this, this, and this. And so you're not going direct to the client. You go to the SEO agent and say, they're very thankful, or thank you very much for pointing that out. Just provide value. If someone's asking questions in Facebook groups, try to answer it if you know the answer to it. Getting your name out there, but just consistently wanting to learn and opening doors every day, speaking to new people, attending the networking, attending these conferences, and yeah, just being innovative in the way that you think.
Okay, now we come to the last segment of our show, which is the rapid fire round. So short answers, whatever comes first in your mind. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the number one SEO mistake you see agencies making?
Not doing disavows.
Okay. One tool you can't live without for SEO?
AI.
Okay. Biggest myth about SEO in 2025?
Biggest what, sorry?
Myth.
That high DR links work.
Okay. If you had to rank one thing, content, link, or technical SEO, what matters the most?
Content.
Okay. What's the best piece of advice you have ever received in your business?
Good question. I've had a lot of good advice because I've had a lot of good mentors. I'd say getting a good mentor, getting a good consultant and mentor that's going to keep you in shape, keep your feet on the ground, and consistently keep saying that you can do better, because like you want to keep striving to improve, because also it's good for the mindset to strive to consistently want to improve.
All right. Now, James, this has been an absolutely illuminating conversation. Before we wrap up, I have two final questions for you.
Yeah.
First, what's the best way for our listeners to connect with you and learn more about your work?
So I'm quite active on my YouTube channel or any social media. If you go to jamesdooley.com, then you'll see all the links to all the different social media platforms. Probably say YouTube's probably the best. Watch a video, leave a comment if you want any answers to expand on what that topic is about. Or you can go on to jamesdooley.com.
Okay. And finally, if there's one piece of advice you could give to a digital marketing professional that would make the biggest impact on their business, what would it be?
To understand what their weaknesses are and then try to partner up with someone that kind of is an expert of what they're weak at. I do believe that SEO is a team sport. Nearly every single venture that I do, I normally do with a business partner. Too many people think I don't want to give 50% away of my business, but sometimes if they can do things that you're not very good at, then that 50% is called synergy, and 1 + 1 = 3. So combined forces together can give such a better force, and that might open doors and other opportunities as well. So I'd say start doing more partnerships and joint ventures with people that complement what you're weak at.
Okay. And I want to thank you sincerely for sharing your insights and experience with our audience today. Of course, your perspective on SEO, link building, lead generation, indexing, and especially on building successful agency partnership has been incredible value. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to the Agency Insider Show and leave us a review. It helps us reach more agency owners and digital marketing professionals with this valuable content.
Yeah,
and
one more thing. I'm just going to cut you in there. If anyone's watching this and they've got any questions, leave a comment in the comment section. I'll personally come back and answer any question that you have on anything that I spoke about. If there's anything you're uncertain about, leave a comment in the comment section and I'll come back to you with any answers.
Thank you very much for that. And if you are an agency owner looking to scale your SEO offerings without expanding your in-house team, visit pagetraffic.com to learn more about our white label SEO services designed specifically for agency like yours. And once again, thanks again, James, and thanks to everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. See you into the next episode. And thank you.